Hello there. My name is Ali Hendry. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a certified holistic relationship coach working within the queer community. And I help people to have the kind of relationship that they want to have romantic, intimate, sexual relationships. And I've been doing that for a fair few years. I also write for Diva magazine. I'm a relationship columnist for them. And I did a TED talk a few years ago called Survivor's Guide to Jealousy. So, jealousy is one of the topics I love talking about, amongst a myriad of other conversations and topics. And I run a certification program for people who want to train as relationship coaches.
Amazing. So, what brought you to this line of work and particularly working with the LGBTQ community? What led you to become a coach?
I'm from the queer community, I identify as a lesbian. I'm 55. And so I have always enjoyed being part of the community from, 1990s, living in London, the way that the community was back then. It's really interesting how split it was, but binary split in terms of where the girls went and where the boys went. And I've loved seeing the evolution of the queer community over the years, where it's been inclusive, where we've had more terminology, where we've been able to understand more about the nuances of queerness and sex and sexuality. And so that's always been something that I've been interested in. And then when I had my own coach a few years ago, I was fascinated about how coaching can support individuals because coaching looks at the present and the future. So we're focused on where are you at now? Let's gain some clarity on that. Let's work out a plan for future you so that you can live in a way that serves you. And I love that. I love therapy. I've been in therapy before. I'm sure I'll be in therapy again. And what therapy does really well is it helps us look into the past. It helps us look at mental health and well-being. It helps us do some healing. And that's all completely beautiful. What I find is that clients come to me who have had therapy and they've had a really positive experience, and now they want to be working on the what next side. So I kind of pick that up and take that forwards and work with individuals who are looking for forward planning. Um, and I think coaching for the queer community is really, really important because we're working on things like regulating your central nervous system. We can face a lot of discrimination, we can face a lot of uncertainties in our lives. So if we've developed some strategies to work with ourselves, with our bodies. I'm a holistic coach, so I'm interested in mind, body, and spirituality and how we are as a holistic, a whole package. um, if we can learn how to capture the strengths that we have and harness those in future us, I think that can really support the some of the challenges that the queer community have had and continue to have.
And so, what are some of these challenges? You mentioned discrimination. What are some of the other challenges that you're meeting in people that, whether or not they're unique or overlap with the cisgender community, what are some of the issues that you feel really worth mentioning that people work?
Yeah, it's a good question around what those issues are because I work a lot in the relationship space. Before I was a coach, I was a diversity and inclusion leadership and management trainer. So I bring in equity, diversity, and inclusion into my work. It's embedded within it, as it should be in all businesses, let's face it. And in the relationship space, working with queer people, there are issues like invisibility. So, for example, pansexual, bisexual community where you're labeled because of the gender of the person you're dating. Talking about non-binary folk coming out, so being in a relationship and your partner comes out as non-binary, and you might then be reflecting on, but how does this affect my identity? So we talk a lot about identity and changes, things that change within your relationship, a disability or awareness around changes in neurodiversity. We know that the queer community has a higher percentage of neurodivergence than the non-queer community. So working with individuals in a space that is non-judgmental, that is accepting that we process in different ways, we experience the world in different ways, and that is embraced within the coaching environment. So it's working with any kinds of changes to an individual and to the relationship as well. I work a lot with people who are entering non-monogamy, so wanting to open up their relationships, or perhaps they've been in non-monogamy and they want to close down their relationships. So any kinds of relationship orientations that people want to explore, again, that's a space where we can discuss what that might look like, how we can move forwards with compassion and curiosity.
Amazing. So if one of the main issues then is invisibility and identity, and I guess kind of finding your sense of self in fluidity and change and flexibility, what is your ideal outcome to be bringing to people through coaching? Like, what's your vision or gift that you want to give to the community that you work with? If you could have your dream desired result for somebody.
I would love people to be able to fully inhabit who they are and feel that sense of freedom through being able to inhabit that place. I've just noticed you take a huge deep breath there and a breath out. This is what we do as coaches. We notice changes and signals within individuals, and that I felt in you a release as I said that sentence, and I felt it too, my own release in terms of being able to inhabit this space and work on plans to move towards that space, working on a some tools and some ideas and tips and tricks that can support you in living that life that you deserve to live.
It's amazing, very beautiful. And so you're, of course, doing a workshop for us in February called Holistic Journaling for Self-Care, which I'm sure will be really amazing. Could you give us a little description of what you're going to do with us in that workshop and what you're offering?
Yes, Holistic Journaling for Self-Care is going to be a webinar style, so you can come along, you can engage as much or as little as you are comfortable. You're not going to be forced to engage in a way that doesn't feel aligned or comfortable with you. I'll be doing a bit of a presentation, then asking some questions for people to either pop into the chat, or we can have a conversation afterwards around the ideas to do with holistic journaling for self-care. So I'll talk about what holistic journaling is. I'm going to share some surprising ways of journaling. There are so many different ways to journal. And for most of us, when we think of the word journaling, we think of a little book and a little pen and a wizened person in the corner, gazing out into middle distance and scribing away. Absolutely, that can be one version. I'm going to give you at least 20 other ways to journal in this workshop. I'm going to be talking about some of the barriers. Sometimes we set ourselves up to think that there is a proper way of journaling, or we're concerned about people reading our journal, or if we're writing a journal. So I'm going to look at those barriers to journaling. I'm going to explore how you can make it stick, because for so many of us, we start it and then it drops off, and then we're like, oh, I've ruined it now. I was doing 5 days in a row and I can't do any more. So I'm going to look at those ways that you can unblock that and stick to the journaling practice finally, if that's what you want to do. And I have a longer journaling workshop, which is an online syllabus and a 1 hour journaling session with me. And that's something that's part of the package as well. So people can access that at a massively reduced price as well. And I also offer bursary places. So this is an opportunity to promote that and to find people who want to have a free coaching session on any topic with me, and that's for queer, intersectional women and non-binary folk, so we can make sure that people have got information about that. So I am really excited about sharing this. Whenever I do a workshop on journaling, people just can't believe how blocked they were around it and how easy it can be to find a journaling practice that works for you, to stick to it and to see the benefits. There have been so many studies around the benefits of journaling that support our central nervous systems. There's this amazing nerve called the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the body, and it connects all sorts of parts of our bodies together. It connects our brain to our gut. So when we talk about having a gut feeling, It's true, there is this connection happening with our central nervous system. And journaling, because of some of the methods that we use in journaling can absolutely help us to regulate our central nervous system, which is amazing. So it can be a very powerful practice for people in the queer community who want that level of connection with their mind, body, and spirituality, and they want ways of being able to be in presence with themselves.
We're so excited to have you and to have the workshop. We're really looking forward to it. And so where can people find you? What's your website and your socials? We'll stick to
Yeah,
the video as
my my website is alihendry.co.uk. And because I'm in the UK, I'm in Brighton on the south coast of the UK. And my the what I use the most is Instagram, and that's at Ali Hendry Coaching.
well. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.